Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Shed Geek Podcast. I am back in the Lone Star State, in the middle of nowhere. Where are we, anyway?
Believe it or not, we're actually not as far out as it seems like.
Okay, well, I feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere for real. What Mabank? How do you say it?
Maybank.
Maybank. Yeah,
There's
I'm an
actually,
idiot.
yeah.
Mabank. Maybank. Okay, I got you. So, Eric, if you don't care, introduce yourself to the listeners. Kind of tell them like who you are and how you what you do.
Yeah. I'm Eric Slayball, and I am the owner of Churro Websites of Texas. And we're a digital marketing company. We do the whole gamut of marketing. When I started out, we did mostly websites, and now we're getting more into, it's not just websites anymore. It's all the supporting services. It's graphic design, it's SEO, advertising, getting traffic to your website, all that kind of stuff.
Very cool. So you've done a couple of websites inside the industry, not only with clients who actually sell or manufacture, but you've done the Shed Geek podcast website.
Yes, I did.
So you guys are working on that, continuing to add and improve.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you did the Shed Haulers Brotherhood page, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, both projects. I really enjoyed both projects. It was a lot of fun. It was a challenge.
Yeah.
There's lots of moving pieces. With the Shed Haulers website.
No doubt.
It was like, the membership side, and there's lots of development going on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very cool. And my hope is that we just continue to work on Shed Geek that way, and that maybe it continues to grow. When I first started in the podcast, we had a website, but it was kind of like it was like a secondary thought. Like, everyone has to have a website, right? You know what I mean? No matter what you're doing, you have to have a website. So, but then I realized, wait a minute, there's a lot of value in having a website and driving the traffic there. And I had not drove the traffic there. We had used the website was only to drive the traffic to the podcast, but in realizing that there's a benefit in using the podcast to even drive traffic. So one of the things we're trying to include on there is like, our sponsors, to give them more of a shout out. The episodes are obviously loaded on there, but just becoming more of a resource for the industry. And you guys have really helped out on that, and appreciate what you're doing. Like, you and Brennan put in a lot of hard work, so it means a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And like you said, it's a lot of value when you come to where you start getting traffic, and now you can monetize that traffic.
Yeah.
Now you can be a connector for other companies.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. I mean, well, all that, I've just over the last, I don't know, maybe say the last year, I'm just kind of learning about, backlinks and how all these things work, things like SEO and all that. To be honest with you, I think I was telling someone recently about maybe 5 years ago was like the first time I got serious about getting a computer.
Yeah.
They were always just mysterious to me. And I was like, I'm a shed geek. I'm not a tech geek, right?
Right.
And I'm very happy with what I've learned over these last few years. I can't wait to see what happens over the next 5. But with guys like you at a phone call away, it certainly means a lot for me. So you're actually a native of Kentucky, so you're fairly close to home. Me and you were talking. You were from the Hopkinsville area.
Yeah, originally we grew up in my family. As our family. We grew up in close to Hopkinsville.
Yeah.
So
with us being in Paducah, not too far away, I know, look at us down here in Texas.
That's the funny thing is because I grew up, blue collar jobs.
Yeah.
I was in construction. My dad was a jack of all trades. He did, we did logging. We had a pallet shop. We had, beef cows.
That's work.
We had everything.
No doubt, that's work.
And so now being here in Texas, it's great. It's it started off as a new field, the technology with the computers and everything, but I was always into design and the copywriting part of it. Even before I got into doing it online, and so it really was a natural fit. Once I left my blue collar job behind, the construction, we did concrete construction for years, excavating, all that. Once I moved into my own business, that was why I did, is because I love that aspect of it.
Well, you guys do a great job. Certainly appreciate all your hard work. Let's talk about websites for a little bit. Tell me about the value. What's your sales pitch, so to speak? What do you tell the average customer, and particularly inside the shed industry, if someone doesn't have a website, they're contemplating the idea of a website, trying to figure out the value it can add. What's your A to Z pitch on a website?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really pretty simple, in my opinion. It's, the internet has changed everything. How the customer, when you understand the customer journey from finding your business to becoming a customer, well, that all happens online now. Whereas 20 years ago, it happened on radio, on television more, and in print, and those things still work, but for the majority of people that are looking for what you have, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to Google it.
Yeah.
And they're going to search it.
Yeah.
And that's where the website value comes in, is now you have an online space to be found.
So now that you're trying to get your particular product out, what does not having a website do to limit that? Because brick and mortar still works. I mean, I'm still a huge brick and mortar fan. I'm actually a pen and paper guy. Brick and mortar, come in, shake my hand, talk to me, build a relationship, sell you something that's valuable, follow up, and we're all happy. But there's a lot of people who, decide, and especially with the emergence of new generations, they decide, like you said, get on Google, try to find something, maybe try to find something local. What is the risk of not having a website if you're a shed manufacturer, shed dealer?
Well, basically, you lose out. There's billions of searches. I forget the exact number, but there are literally billions of searches made for local businesses every day. You're losing out on that potential traffic if you're not on anywhere online.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in a good location, you have people driving by, but you're only limited to a local little, your road front or your signs, your banners out. So the internet really serves to unlock, your limitations, your area limitations.
Yeah. Yeah, you can put, and there's so many things you can list on a website. Right. I mean, you can list inventory. They're on a website. What's a standard website for those who, I mean, most people are familiar with websites, but even if you're not just terribly familiar with taking, starting at the kindergarten, route and say, hey, let's start out at ground zero. What are the things that you should look for in a website? What are kind of the tabs, the things that you would build into a website to help identify a company?
Well, since we're talking about the shed industry specifically, what we would do is you want your shed to be on there. You want the people to be able to know really quickly in a simple way, make it where it's searchable, where people can find what you offer, and then of course a clear, what do you want? We always, when we design a website, we always ask, what do you want people to do when they get on your website?
Yeah.
So, in website terms, it's called a call to action. So that's the biggest things. You want it simple. You want it, very clear what it's about, and then what people should do when they get on that website.
It's a funnel of sorts, right? The idea is you're trying to funnel them towards a direction. And ultimately, if you have a website with sheds, you're trying to sell those sheds. So.
Right. And it's about information, clear information, it's your sales pitch for the company.
Yeah.
So it's you know, a lot of people do like that handshake, that personal touch.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that a lot of people do find you online, and so it's that you're making that connection in that online presentation. You have maybe 5 or 10 seconds to grab that attention and convert that into a phone call.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys have even helped me with like, this is the Troyer's website episode, but I'll throw a little nugget in there. You guys have even helped me with like the Leadferno box, or you know, you put the snippet of code in there. And what's funny is, as a Shed Geek podcast website, you would think that I would be getting questions mainly from internally inside the industry. What I think is funny is almost every Leadferno question I get right now is like, hey, do you have any 10x16s available? I almost have to. I don't actually sell sheds on this website. I'm sorry, guys. Where are you located? I'll see if I can get you in touch with somebody in your area that can help you out, you know. But you guys have helped me out with that. That texting platform to my website has worked tremendously in terms of someone might go on your website, look around, right? And
then that's when they usually want to talk to.
They want to talk to somebody, and a live person is really handy. So I'm a big fan of that already, being able to do that. And I've even heard of some people getting some leads because of that. So quick shout out, shameless plug for Leadferno. I'm stealing your thunder here on your web on your
we'll
episode.
Install it.
What's that?
We'll install it.
Yeah. There you go. You'll install it. Yeah. No, you guys have done a great job on that. That's been really helpful. So basically, you create a couple of tabs. I mean, you're probably going to talk about, you know, what the company's about. You know, most marketing, a lot of marketing's talking about like the story branding idea and things like that, right? Where, you know, the idea is more than just some guy, even with commercials, some guy standing there saying, come on down, get you a shed for $49.99. You know, it's more, this is how we started. We're a second, third generation shed builder, and how, you know, with each generation, they're having to find new avenues to get in front of customers. But you can do that. About tabs, you know, financing options, you know, inventory options, styles, locators for, you know, if you've got. But what I find more than anything is that people are concerned about two things. And that is, well, I don't know anything about the website. So who maintains this? Who manages that? And what's my level of responsibility if I call Eric and say, hey, I want to get a website for my business, but what is it going to look like for me? The other's price, you know, like what does this cost me? And is there ongoing costs? So address those two things.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that we've seen in not just the shed industry, but as in marketing as a whole. And so we actually don't sell a website. We sell a website package. And that package includes maintenance, support. For that reason is because a lot of our clients, they don't know about websites. They don't know about marketing. A lot of them want to offload it. That's why they're hiring us. And so we say, okay, we'll do it for you. And so it's included in the price.
So you do a whole host of things then. So it's not always just web development, which covers a multitude of things. But you guys are actually launching something now that you were telling me about, and we're excited to talk about, right?
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead and expand on it. I can like just kind of give the listeners a clue as to what it is you'll be doing.
Yeah. So and it kind of. For the backstory on that is we're looking at what do our customers need, and so this was one of the things that we were finding out is the next step beyond a website, and especially in the shed industry, what I'm seeing is that as the internet matures and you know you get your website, you get your Facebook page, now what? How do you expand beyond that? And there's lots of options available, and there's a whole range of tools that you can cobble and duct taped together, and excuse me.
I like that expression. That was good. Yeah, duct tape this all together. I love that.
And you know, and then there's the problem of, you know, logging into different accounts, the time it takes to manage all these different accounts, and and it's really time is not something business owners have a lot of. I mean, do you know anybody? Do you know
no one that has any extra time. I know where you're going. I know. I sure don't. This is a 9.5 hour drive and an hour left after this, huh?
I don't envy you.
No one has any extra time. They need that, right? You know, that's what they're looking for. You can't make more hours in a day.
Right.
So
and so what we've done is we have partnered with a company or a software that puts all these pieces together into a single dashboard that then lets you manage everything very quickly. It has a task manager, and it basically allows you to put everything together where you're not having to jump around the internet trying to manage everything. You manage it all in one place. And then you can use those tools to, you know, grow your business online. So.
One thing that you were talking about was like how the need for the shed industry has so much customization in terms of their website development, right?
Right.
What do you find is the best way to solve that?
That's a great question. Really, I would say as far as our approach, we sit down with the customer. We say we look at what their needs are, and then we make recommendations based on that. And we almost hardly ever say that we can't do something.
Oh, that's cool.
So our approach is, if you have something that's outside of our current scope, we will either recommend something or we will figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually, you know, we have enough experience now that we can say, okay, this is what you need, this is what you need, and this is what you need here.
And having worked some in, you know, the shed industry, you're seeing more maturity in that field. There's more and more websites being developed. There's more customization needed. You've got online sales platforms. You got 3D configurators. There's lots of integration. There's lots of just people to connect with, from RTO to, oh goodness, I'm just trying to think of, like, you know, I mean, even the hauler side of things, and yeah, there's a lot that goes into e-commerce, basically.
Yeah, there's, and that's the thing with e-commerce, as you're saying, it's everything's very custom, and everything is very unique, and that is with the clients that we've worked with, and the clients that we've observed. Yes, it's definitely a maturing thing where everything is now it's very competitive, and, you know, slapping a website up works, but at the same time you're going to need some, you know, you're probably going to need, you have to get a way to get traffic to that website.
So let's talk about that. How do you know, I've got a website. We can get to some pricing or something like that later on, but you know, if you want to. But I've got the website. Now, what does it matter? How do people come find my website? I just started, you know, Shed Geek Shed Sales lot, you know, in Paducah or something. And now I want people to find that. How are they going to find that? I just invested this money into this. Eric, how are you going to help me?
Yeah, that's a great scenario. The first thing we'd probably look at would be getting you on as many different places online, getting a big a footprint as possible online, and that would be part of our SEO things, SEO pieces. The next thing would be probably, since you're a brand new site, you probably want to run some ads, some ads on Google or Facebook. And then we would optimize your site, you know, with a live chat like you were talking about with your ShedGeek
Mm-hmm.
website,
Mm-hmm.
something like that, to where people can make it. You want to make the threshold of contact as low as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make it as easy as possible for them to click the call button or send that email to get the brochure.
Sure.
So, and then the third thing would be definitely looking into building an email list.
Mm-hmm.
Email is kind of one of those things where some marketers say, "Oh, that's dead. You don't want emails. You don't need emails, whatever." We have actually found that emails still do work,
Mm-hmm.
and they work well.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have an email list of people that are signed up, you have an instant list of customers that you can reach that have already contacted you about your business.
Yeah, I run a email campaign every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And there's different programs you can use, right? Pipedrive, MailChimp, Active Campaign, maybe a couple that come to mind. I've used MailChimp, and it's what I learned.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're all kind of the same.
Yeah. There's no necessary promotion here of one or the other, I don't think. Yeah. But I've used that because I'll add a picture of the guest. I'll add your picture to this episode, maybe a link to your website or something like that, and then who's going to be the studio sponsor, who's going to be the episode sponsor, and then you can just kind of throw some information out on there, like, hey, go check me out on my ShedGeek YouTube channel, or go Facebook or whatever. But you can add a lot of information in that, and then you can manage those campaigns. Hey, 30% of the people you sent this out to, 60% opened up this email. Now, whether or not they read it,
at least or
they opened it. They might have collectively, mentally thrown it in the trash. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the reality is, it does reach more people.
And emails are kind of like a podcast, really. If you have an interesting something that people want to read, and you have interesting information that's relevant, people will open your email.
And if you have a podcast that's not interesting, wah, wah, wah. Let's hope I never get there. I'm going to hope and say that it's continuing to add education through entertainment. It's been an absolute blast, man. I get to travel doing this. I get to talk to people, meet cool people like yourself and others. And to be honest with you, I'm just having the time of my life being able to do that. It really is a lot of fun. So SEO, there's different things that you can do to optimize that search engine optimization. Mm-hmm. A search engine, meaning I'm taking it to the ground level here. Mm-hmm. Google, Chrome, Safari. There's different search engines, but Google being the most prominent, right? To the point to where most people even say Google it.
They don't search things; they Google.
They Google it. Yeah. So is it called Google Engine Optimization? Maybe from now on.
It's almost at that point.
Yeah, geo. We'll start calling it geo. But there's things that matter because if someone else is in the shed industry, there's keywords, right, that you can enter. Those are a good example of things that will help. And what that does is that starts to skew your search results, right?
Right.
This is why like things like incognito windows, help out if you want to get a truer search, right?
Right.
And the idea is that you get on a search engine and you go look for something, and maybe you're looking for sheds, and you just type in sheds. Well, you're going to enter those keywords in so that people are finding the people who are searching for sheds are, well, guess what? You're a shed manufacturer or a dealer, and you've got a website in that particular area that you're marketing, and our target marketing, and you can bring them in deeper to where, and there's different ways to optimize, but it seems to me like everybody who's in SEO doesn't want to share their secret sauce. What's that all about?
Well, I'm honestly not sure if it's a secret as much as it's if you're not an SEO, and you try to explain that to somebody that's not an SEO, their eyes tend to glaze over. And,
Yeah, I get it. But the idea is that you're looking
Yeah.
for those customers, and you're trying to match what those customers are searching for with what you offer.
Exactly. Yeah.
And probably each website developer has their own little tricks and of the trade that kind of tries to attempt to get more eyeballs on there, and some of those are paid ads, right? Like you said, Google and Facebook ads. But
paid advertising's basically, I won't say cheats the system, but it basically bypasses the system would be a better word.
Yeah,
bypasses the algorithm and gets you in front of, no matter where your website is ranking, it'll get you up on top.
How does Google control their algorithm? I remember watching, I don't know if you've seen The Social Dilemma on Netflix, but it talks kind of about how the different algorithms change. You can be in one part of the country and you can Google something and be in a different part of the country and Google the same thing.
Completely different results.
Completely different results.
Yeah. So Google does their best. Now, their algorithm is proprietary. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have clues, and they tell us clues and stuff, but and you're right, it does change. But their goal is to show relevant results based on all the data that they harvest from Facebook, from all around the web, all these data points that they know about you. They input this into their algorithm, and that's what they use to then serve ads. That's what they use to serve relevant search results based on what you've seen before and looked before and your interests. They have, honestly, it's more than I'm comfortable with. But they know everything about you.
Yeah.
So we can use that then to help businesses serve relevant search results. And that's part of the SEO process is you're signaling to Google that your website is a trustworthy domain, number one. It's something that a lot of customers have used before. It has relevant information, and it's it's something that the people the goal is for Google's goal is to serve relevant search results. So the more relevant that we can make that website appear to Google, the higher it ranks.
And there's some guy pushing buttons up there at the top of the ladder, huh? I don't think this one is. I think that one is. How does that work?
It's all programmatically decided.
Isn't everyone trying to figure out the details of that? Would you be weary of someone who says, I got SEO figured out on Google whenever, in terms of marketing? I'm putting you on the spot.
Honestly, if somebody guarantees that they can put you up on the spot, they probably have. Maybe they can. There's skilled. There's really skilled marketers out there.
Yeah.
But if you have somebody that can do that, that's going to be top dollar.
Well, and the reason that's important is because the customer's searching,
right.
maybe looking for a shed in their area, and if your website shows up front and center, it's not second, third, fourth, fifth page back. Somebody, might not go through. I mean, what did you say earlier? We're constrained by time, and sometimes it's just a matter of, hey, they showed up right here. I can see it right here. They go to them first. It's kind of like driving down the road. You're just driving down the internet highway as opposed to the actual highway, right? The first shed lot you see, you stop at and you start asking questions. And if the salesperson's able to communicate, so what you have to do is you have to think in terms of making that website the easiest point of communication, much like you would a shed sales lot, right?
And something I want to point out is reviews, and that's something that I'm finding that a lot of businesses are scared of reviews, but especially for local searches, reviews really are like one of the biggest things that can help you rank. I would just bad reviews aren't a bad thing. As long as you have lots of good reviews, some bad reviews, and that's what I find that a lot of people are scared of. It's like, well, I don't want people to leave bad reviews.
Yeah.
And but but it's not a thing to be scared of. The
Yeah.
thing to, if you're a legit bad business, then, maybe things need to change and,
Yeah, maybe you need to listen to the
yeah,
reviews, right?
exactly. but you can't please everybody, and you're going to have some bad reviews here and there. But
Gosh.
as long as the majority of your reviews are, you have your loyal customer base, that actually helps. It helps exponentially if you're like, that's one of the fastest ways to rank on Google Maps listing, actually.
Yeah.
Is if you have a solid reviews system where you're getting reviews and you are responding to reviews.
I love that you said that. Like you said, you can't please everybody.
Right.
I'm living in that area of my life right now. I posted something recently on Shed Sales Professionals page, and basically it was a Aesop's fable. It was kind of the story of the young boy and the donkey and the old man, and if you haven't read it, you should go check it out, because I really feel like it's one of those things where you just have to be comfortable with in your own skin to say. I've heard business owners say, if I get a bad review on there, let it stay, let people see it, but go back and address it. Go
Correct.
back and show that you're trying to make an effort. A good example that we ran into, maybe not on Google, but on Facebook reviews, we had a Facebook page, a business Facebook page. We sold carports. Well, anybody who's in the shed industry who sells carports knows that in most cases, maybe not all, but in most cases, it operates in the sense of a third-party vendor. So you're representing the company, but you're
Correct.
just getting a percentage to sell, and you have very little control over installation timelines, communication.
Correct.
But as long as you act as a representative, for that company, you sell their product, even if you go through all the details. I've had people come back to me and say, we're not happy with this particular situation. Well, they would come back maybe looking for a refund, or, hey, you said it would be 4 to 6 weeks. They just called me, said it's going to be another 4 to 6 weeks. I want my money back, or whatever it is. And you try to work some details out with that customer. But before you know it, they've got a bad Facebook review on there. As long as they see that you're going back, and you're addressing those reviews, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Google or whatever, I think most people appreciate that you're responding to those, that you're trying to actually handle those things, because an upset customer is 10 out of 10 times likely to say something.
Right.
But a happy customer,
They won't.
Not
unless you go fishing for it and asking for it. Which, by the way, you need to leave me a review. I guess this is a review.
Oh, no. I guess I do. You know what? I'll leave it right here.
Okay.
You guys need to call Troyer Websites of Texas, and Eric Slavall is going to take care of you. And Brendan Boylan's going to do a good job, too. So I love those guys over there. Matter of fact, that's why we decided to partner together. Yep. Let's give the people, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a good review, not just on the podcast, but on Google. If we can talk to people about the benefits of the podcast and Shed Geek partnering with Troyer Websites of Texas, what can we give the people, Eric?
Yeah, absolutely. We I know that a lot of your audience, Shannon, is needing things. They're looking for ways that they can gain their edge.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that we can do that is we can offer. We have our
standard pricing. I know that you guys have.
Yeah.
So and if you want to talk about that, you can. But if you don't, it's on your website, I think, isn't it?
I hate to give out pricing because there's so much.
Because of the customization.
There's a lot of variables. Yeah. We do have some standard packaging,
yeah.
And they're welcome to look on we actually have a shed page just for shed manufacturing.
Yeah.
On our website, that they're welcome. There's some pricing on there.
Yeah.
We have a setup fee usually, and then there's usually a subscription.
Yeah. And you've shared that with me. I can send that over, or maybe include some of that in like the newsletter or whatever. For the
Troyer of Texas.com is our website. But then what were you thinking? Were you thinking that we were talking about a special that we can
a particular special? Yeah. So maybe like I think this episode's slated to go out on the 28th of September. We'll see if it makes it for that slot.
Yeah. So what we were talking about is we would give 10% off a setup fee of any 5-page website or bigger. That if you're listening to this episode and you call within 2 weeks of when the episode airs, we'll give you 10% off.
Well, there you go. You can't beat that.
So
just for listening to the Shed Geek podcast, it's going to be a benefit to you to contact Troyer's websites. No, you guys are just good people to work with, and I want to give you that review on Google. So,
well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we definitely want to do that. But that'll save people who are looking to get a website. And I have people contact me regularly that say, hey, who can I? And we have marketers, come on the show and want to continue to have them on the show. And they're welcome to advertise. I mean, you've talked about that. There's a big sea out there, right?
Right.
There's probably enough customers out there for everybody. And as long as we keep making the market bigger, we don't have to worry about market share.
Right. That's right. Well, we're our as a company, our main goal is we're here to serve the customer the best we can. There's lots of great marketers out there that I know of personally that we've worked with, rubbed shoulders with.
Yep.
So our main focus is fast service and good service. So.
There's this little restaurant, Paducah, that says when you walk in on exit 3, it says, they try to serve food good and they try to serve it fast. So it says something along the lines of like, we don't serve fast food, but we serve good food as fast as we can.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the idea, I guess. We'll do the best we can, but we want to make sure it's good. So I would say that's been my experience with you guys. You have done a good job in the timely manner that I needed it, and but you've done a good job, and that's more important. And I think we really talked about that early on, is we still had a very old and outdated website up, and you guys were able to help us with that, getting good, accurate information. And we're trying to do more, actually. So
work in progress.
It's a work in progress. We created like the weekly newsletter, sign up, and we're trying to do some more with that and put in some automations and things like that. And I'm learning. What I love about it is I did a standard WordPress site, and you guys are able to actually get on there, and I could go into the back end of this. And even as a non-techie guy, I'm going into the back of this, and I'm kind of building out a couple of things, and I'm able to have some control over this, and I'm actually interested in that. And I can call Brennan up, and he's like, yeah, you totally messed it up. Let me fix that for you. That's what I love, is that.
That's a interesting point, because I know web developers. We take training and we follow some on YouTube and stuff. And some of them are like, no way, we're not going to let the customer mess around with his own website.
They'll do like I did, huh? But you know what? He's fixed everything that I've done. He's been super helpful, and I really can't give you guys enough kudos for all that you've done. And I was so thankful that you were recommended, because I've been terribly happy with what you guys have done, and hope to continue working with you guys for a long time. I noticed that on your new marketing adventures, we didn't really talk about like the social media management aspect of that.
Yeah.
You have a website, but then you have all these things that are coming up from TikTok. I mean, of course you got Facebook. It's I was saying recently, someone called it Boomer Book the other day, because it's so old. But I mean, you have all these different things from LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, all of these. We're in Texas. Are we close to Elon here? Well, he's in Dallas, right?
I think he's in.
Where's he at?
Didn't he go to Austin?
Did he go to Austin? We're not too far from Austin, right?
Yeah, we're about three hours north.
You want to take a road trip? We'll go down and
look at Tesla.
Yeah, we'll go hang out with Elon. I'm sure he'll let us write in,
sure.
given our status.
Right.
I mean, we tell him that
VIP
Shed Geek
status.
and Troyer website's here, and they'll probably let us in right away. Maybe take us in a rocket up to Mars or something. Yeah.
My birthday was just happened, so that'd be a great birthday trip.
It would be a good birthday present. I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
I'll talk to my people will talk to his people, and we'll see what happens. But no, honestly, the emergence of all of these continued social media platforms, and I can't help but think that we're going to see some more in the future. I just got done talking with someone. I'm going to share it. I think I'm going to have to share it on my my newsletter, the weekly newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this yet, but it's posted on Facebook's site, and it talks about Facebook starting to charge at some point like 5% on Marketplace or something like that for particular listings.
Well, I do know that they have their they kind of have a basic e-commerce thing where you can go through Facebook for payments and everything. You can set up your payments through Facebook, and they charge the standard credit card fees and stuff.
These are about checkout on Facebook.
Interesting.
And Instagram. Yeah, I'll have to send you these links. No, we are temporarily waiving our standard selling fee for all orders marked as shipped through 11:59 Pacific time on December 31st, 2022. So I'm wondering if this is something that's going to take place. Like, I don't want to be the guy out there talking about how Facebook's going to charge and not be right? But I can send this link, and I think I'm going to do that on the next newsletter for those who are, or you can go check it out on Facebook, or is it Meta now? Is it even Facebook?
It's Everything's Meta now. Yeah. Everything changes so fast. I mean, just in the last year. And that's one of the challenges that we face as marketing is keeping up with all that and keeping on the cutting edge of what's happening in the marketplace and how best we can help our clients utilize that.
What's some of the things that you expect to see in the future from Facebook or other social media platforms? You're in the tech world day in and day out. Mm-hmm. So, people want to trust their quote unquote tech guy,
right?
To kind of lead them in the right direction. So what are the things you think that we're going to see coming up, and how they might affect the shed industry?
I'm not sure if I can expound a lot on the shed industry specifically.
Mm-hmm.
From what I'm seeing, everything is kind of evolving into this platform where anybody can just run some ads. They're really making it ad friendly.
Mm-hmm.
They're really pushing it where you have to run ads. To be a business on there and to get customers, it's harder and harder to get organic things. You have to be running ads in order to stay in front of your customers. And that's something that's been changing the last year or so, especially.
The idea is to get you to spend money on the platform because all of their money comes from advertising.
Yeah.
So if they can monetize the platform in some other way.
Yeah, I would say from a business perspective, that's the biggest trend right now is everything's going to make it easier and easier to where you can use your platforms. They have multiple different pieces to their platform to run ads.
Well, I've noticed even in my own, so like we have Shed Sales Professional, which is a private Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Shed Geek there for a while. And then we have a business page,
mm-hmm.
which is Shed Geek Podcast.
Yeah.
And the algorithm of the private groups outperform the business page 10-1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We have one of our businesses, I don't know if you know this, we have a completely different business, e-commerce store, pet products.
Okay.
And we raise some dogs and stuff.
Okay.
And we have 8,700 followers on Facebook.
Yeah.
We post something, maybe we might get 5, 10 reactions.
Yeah.
We might get 200 people that saw that.
Yeah.
If it's a really popular thing, lots of shares and stuff, we might get 50 or 60.
Uh-huh.
But the algorithm isn't friendly towards organic.
No, not at all. And the data, like like sometimes I even ask the question, like whenever somebody's really geeking out over the data on it, I'm like,
Right.
yeah, but what you have to translate that to value. Like big numbers are cool because you can throw big numbers around and it can be misleading.
Yep.
You know, whoa, so many impressions. We've reached so many people. There's all these eyeballs that saw it, but that only matters if it equates in most cases to action, a call
Right.
to action, you know.
The action is where the true metrics are.
Yeah, I had 12,000 impressions. Did you sell a shed? No. You know, like it's the big numbers are kind of cool,
Yeah.
but they're a little bit, right, of a marketing, you know, oddity because it's like, oh, you saw this many people or this many people saw your post. But yeah, I noticed early on, I actually got rid of, or at least unpublished for the meantime, the Shed Geek private group. It's obvious it's less cumbersome. It's not as big and broad and robust of a Facebook profile, right? The business page offers a lot more. You can actually do checkout processes through that. It's not necessarily just a private group. It's actually, but they want you to pay to optimize that more. And the organic traffic, they dial the algorithm down on that big time. Big time. And so I try to use things like the podcast or the email platform to try and get traction on that. I know that if I turn on the private group, it already has more followers. So I'll turn it on to send people over to the other, you know, just because that's the only way to get without doing major campaigns.
Yeah.
You know, and the question becomes, how many people do I want to reach? Well, I want to reach people who's in the industry.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't know how many that is. If anybody wants to let me know, share your list with me. I'm sure they'll be in a hurry to do that of all your contacts. But it's that's the goal. And I would imagine if you're running a business page, if you're, you know, ABC Sheds or whatever, you know, whatever business you created, it's a little bit hard getting that started. How'd you guys manage 87,000? What do you attribute that success to? That's a lot of followers.
8,700.
Oh, 8,700. Okay. I thought you said 1,000. I was like, wow, that's pretty
wish.
impressive. Yeah.
I wish I had that on. Yeah. No, we're not quite at that stage yet. But honestly, it was paid. It was paying to boost our page or paying to get our page out there.
Yeah.
To gain followers.
And more people like it whenever they see that. Sometimes I'll see where people do a giveaway.
Yeah, that's one very good way to
like, share, comment, and we'll give you this pile of dirt. And bam, you know, they get like 100,000 people.
Yeah. And get a high value product that your people like, and that's what one of our latest clients. That's what they're planning to do to grow their. It's really brilliant.
Ever tell you the first time I was selling and had a Facebook page for the business, we thought to do a. This is so good. A free grill. Come in and look at sheds, and then you could register for the grill, and it would be given away at this day, as long as you had filled out your name and address and phone number. But it gave me a chance to sell a shed. Whenever that was posted on Facebook, I legit started getting comments that said, I would like one of the free grills, please. Next comment, free grill. I want a free grill over here. My favorite comment was, I would like one of the free grills, but I do not have a vehicle, so can you bring it to me? And this was in a giveaway if they came in. Gosh, I would imagine there's more stories out there like that.
Goldfish attention span where they don't read it and they just see something free. And they just want to.
Yeah, I want that. And can you bring it to me on top of that? I'll take one of your free grills, please.
To answer your question a little bit more about social media, it's a vast subject, really.
Yeah.
As of now, Facebook and Instagram isn't going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
Or which is Meta.
Yeah.
And encompasses all the above. And so one of the things that we're talking about the platform, where everything's put together, one of the biggest time sucks on is social media. Is posting consistently. Is
good content creation
working the algorithm to because there is a systematic way that you can use social media that the way that if you use it the way they design it to be used, you'll get the results.
Yeah.
And this tool that we're talking about here, your social media accounts are all in one place.
Nice.
And so you don't have to be, logging into Instagram. You don't have to be logging into Google My Business, or it's now Google Maps, or Facebook separately. You can just post and it just goes out everywhere.
Yeah.
And it just simplifies that whole process.
And that you can take care of with your admin panel. This is something that Troyer's websites is creating that they can do.
And it's very user friendly. And it's for the more mature markets that are used to having a CRM. They're used to working on a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
If you can run a spreadsheet, you can run this platform.
Yeah.
And it's it inputs your CRM, your email marketing, your social media, your data analytics. It all comes into one place, and for very affordable, like $360 for per month.
Nice.
And most mature companies they'll be spending thousands of dollars per month with various different tools.
Yeah.
And our goal with this was to make it very affordable for small and medium-sized companies that are ready to step into that next level of
excellent.
Beyond just having a website by itself.
So if they want to find that, again, take advantage of the admin panel. They contact you at Troyer's websites of Texas.com.
Yes, we are. This is all new stuff, so we don't have a website per se to send them to yet.
Yeah.
But Troyer websites of Texas.com.
And you prefer a conversation. You've told me this before. You prefer that they reach out to you, and they can order online.
Yeah.
Even a website or something directly online, but you're going to reach out to them anyway. Right. And you're going to want to talk to them, and especially if they're in the shed industry, because it's customization.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many different pieces and custom stuff that you can do there.
And you've got a telephone number they can reach you at, or a business line.
Yes.
I'm assuming.
They can. It's right on the homepage of our website.
Okay.
So I don't know how you do that. Should I give it out here?
Oh, go for it. If you don't, if you don't care, go for it.
My cell phone, business phone, is 903-603-1560.
All right.
So,
and don't forget, you sign up, and you mentioned that you heard this on Shed Geek podcast. You sign up for a new 5-page website, and you'll get a discount. So, hey, thanks for doing that, honestly. And I hope it adds some value, honestly. I hope you get some calls. I certainly want to continue to promote you and appreciate what you've done for me. Anything else you want to share with the industry? Roughly 600 to 1,000 listeners right now a week. So I'm excited, dude. I'm excited that so many people would tune in to listen to the guests that we have on there.
That's pretty awesome.
Well, it's been a dream come true for me to be able to do these things and to travel. My hope is that maybe a year from now, my son will graduate and my wife will be able to travel with me on some of these trips. And we're honestly just enjoying life, enjoying getting to know more people in the shed industry. I want to know more of you. It's like I told you before, send me a friend request on Facebook. If I come to know your name, I'm sending you one first. Shed Sales Professionals is always a way to reach me. The Shed Geek podcast page is a way. The Shed Geek YouTube channel. Try to put some funny stuff on there. We've got some good content coming up. These episodes, we've actually started recording. This one is an example. We've got 5 or 6 of them on there now where we record. And you can see who you're talking to. Right. And this handsome fellow over here wearing this Troyer's website shirt that I'm jealous of. But absolutely, man. Appreciate getting to know you. I've enjoyed the conversations. You have personally walked me and my wife through a lot of stuff on our website, and I get a kick out of it. You're so kind. You're so humble. That
Thank
means
you.
a lot. And I think that people like to work with people like that. You're not as humble as me. Don't get me wrong. You're pretty humble, but I don't know if you're as humble as me. You know, I think I take it to another level.
Yeah.
But you're
Definitely.
okay. You know?
Yeah, I can get my yardstick out if you want to measure.
Yeah. Try and figure out who's the most humble. Listen, I appreciate it. It means a lot. We always like to pray here at the Shed Geek Podcast. I don't know if would you want to close us out in prayer, just kind of over the industry, or am I putting you on the spot? Is that okay?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely, and I do want to say that I have worked with different of the industry people in the shed industry, especially shed hauler related.
Yeah.
And it truly is a brotherhood. It's truly a community, and I've really enjoyed getting to know some of the people in the industry better, and working with them that have been some of our best clients.
The recommendation to contact you came from them, so shout out to the haulers for actually recommending, and I know that they appreciate probably what you've done. So isn't it? It's networking, right?
Right.
It's not not working. It's networking, you know, and that's what you do. And yeah, they've. I was using somebody else, and this is a good web person that I was using, but I don't know. I kind of felt like a relationship is just as important in terms of having a website. I like being able to text you or call you, and I want to send a whole bunch of more people your way, hopefully.
Well, we'd love to serve them. So,
Great.
But yeah, I can. I'd be. Do you have anything more?
No, I'm done. If you let me keep talking, I will. So we better cut me off here.
All right, let's pray. Father, thank you for this evening that we get to spend with Shannon. Thank you for this industry, the shed industry. Pray that we would work together, and pray that you'll bless the people that are in this industry. That a lot of the people from my background, a lot of small business owners, Father, I pray that you bless them in their work and in their industry, that they're attempting to provide for them, for their families, for their and for their future. Pray in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Appreciate you, man. Such a pleasure to get to meet you and Katrina and the little ones.
Yeah,
so,
that was awesome.
Well, thanks a lot, man.
All right, thank you.